Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video I'm covering the reserve. It's going to be a new player's guide covering the spawns, extracts, danger areas, some really good loot spawns, and it's just a brief overview for new players. So if you're new to Tarkov, you can check this out and learn where to go and what everything is in the map. I am going to do a complete in-depth guide of reserve, and I'll put that down in the description below once it's done, because there is so much loot to cover in this map, and I really think you guys could learn a lot from that one. So that's going to be a video that's coming very soon. So if you're watching this, say, a week after it's been published, more than likely it's out. And there are multiple loot runs that I am making for this map. So if you're struggling to make some money in Tarkov, this will be a place to get all that information that you guys are after. So guys, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Alright, so welcome to the reserve map. Now, with reserve, I play a lot of solo play, so my callouts will be probably largely different to everyone else, and I don't want anyone to be like, oh, but that's called this. It doesn't matter. You can call whatever you want. If it wants to be a fluffy unicorn, it can be a fluffy unicorn. I've come up here because I want to show you at least an overall layout of the map, and then we'll go into kind of each area, and I'll go more specifically. As we run into each building, I'm going to cover like a little bit of a scoring system out of 5. If a building's good for meds, barter items, or military gear, and it'll give you just like a bit of a perspective when running around. Now, reserve is only a couple of months old, and it's definitely like one of the more interesting maps. It's definitely one of the best maps for loot, and I want to give you guys a good example of a good experience of just being how to get around and what to do around the map. So the first thing you need to take note of is this giant dome. This is the reference point. As soon as you spawn in, quickly look around for this dome, and once you know where this dome is, you'll have a reference on where you are in the map. That is probably the most important thing you can do first, because you can spawn all along these outside bits here, and that's pretty much all the spawns, and also up on the hill. So you get that, you get in, you look at the dome, okay, so I'm over in that back corner, or you're in that back corner, and then you'll be able to go from there. Now, for the dome itself, you can come up here, and it is quite a good sniping spot. From here to the far corners around here is about 400 meters. So if you are trying to shoot something out there, you need to take that into account. I'm not going to go into too much information about inside each of the buildings and that, but as a reference with the dome, it's pretty good for some military gear, ammunition and that. You've got your first extract here, and this one requires the Red Rebel ice pick and also a paracord. The paracord does not get consumed, but you're not allowed to wear armor. If you are wearing armor, put the armor into your backpack, or if you're wearing an armored rig, it won't make any difference. As you can see, the cliff descent, you come here and you extract. It's the best way of getting out of reserve without having too much conflict and being able to take out the majority of the loot. The downside to it is you need to have the Red Rebel ice pick, which sells for about 5 million rubles. Up here, you'll see fixed guns. Now, in other maps, currently there are no fixed guns. This one is an AGL. You sit on it, you crank it for a little bit, and then you can pretty much just start firing it. The zeroing, sighting out of this is a bit wonky at the moment, I feel. But a little trick, if they're inside this room here, where is it? Right there. Aim to the top right of the door, and put it right in the room. You'll kill someone in the first bullet. It does do a pretty good explosion in there. You can go like full auto in there if you want to. I'm not going to go through all the individual buildings itself, but there's a couple of safes in here and that. Now, there are about this many keys for reserve. So pretty much every building requires a key to get into certain rooms, but it's just something that you want to take note of, that you should start trying to collect the keys when you can. There are keys that will be worth more than others, and I'm going to do, after this video, I probably would have already said, a very in-depth video of every single area of the actual of reserve. So there's going to be like lots of information, where all the loot spawns are, where all the really expensive stuff is, and all that good stuff, so you guys can have a fun time. Now, I won't press the button yet because I just don't want to hear it. But inside this building, straight down from the front of the dome, you press this lever, and that's the hermetic door switch. There was issues with it previously, but now it works perfectly. As soon as the alarm is going off, you can extract through the hermetic door. You can have a mate come here and press the lever while you're already over there, or you can press the lever and have to run over yourself. Over here, you have the, I guess the pawn section. Now, I'm just going to use the dome as north. I have no idea which way is north, and until the compasses are put into the game, we're not going to know. With the north building, this one here, It's mostly filled with military gear, and that goes into the basement, into the underground section. Now I'll just show you. It's very simple to get down to it. You literally just come in and go down, and then my brain's a bit fried at the moment, but you either go straight through this way, and then I think it turns left, and that goes all the way. The basement system goes all the way up until the dome at the top. There is a lot of really good loot down there. You have to search for it though, and it's definitely a way you can actually get some loot without much of trouble, because not many people go down there. Also, if you want to go up to the dome extract by the back of the dome, the cliff, and you're down here and you don't want to go through like being too exposed, it is a cheeky way out without too much of an issue. Inside the helicopter, there's 3 weapon crates. Pretty cool little spot to get some loot. And there's an intel spawn, which at the moment Intel's selling for a lot. Problem is with that, you're right in the middle of it. Now, Scab Boss on this map can spawn in lots of locations, but they do spawn between these 2 buildings quite often. And if you're in this area, it can get pretty hectic. Let's go with calling this west. We go downstairs on the left here. This is the first marked room. Now, these marked room keys sell pretty much like a nothing. And they're pretty good marked rooms. Like, there's a lot of spawns inside them. Plenty of guns, weapon crates, all that good stuff. There are 2 marked room keys. We've got the BK and the VO. Very confident this one's the BK, but I'll have it up on the screen as I open the door anyway, just so you make sure you guys know about it. But yeah, that is pretty much one of the keys you should get pretty early. They're only about 80,000 rubles, and you should be able to get a 25 use key for it. And every time you come into it, you'll make your money's worth. Not going down into too many spots overall, but this is pretty much the go-to building at the moment for a lot of your pistoling and hatchling runners. They're going to be jumping out of that window into this room. It's called the RBAK. There are better rooms in this map, which I'm going to explain on my next video. I don't want to give it all the information away on the first video because of well, actually, I probably will show you. I'll show you. But there actually is better rooms. So a graphics card right here, like this is where people are going to. The graphics card here, we've got Tetrises that spawn in here, and the graphics cards spawn on all these outside. You got the computers here. Someone's told me, or multiple people told me, high chance of searching for the graphics cards in those computers. For bullshit. This is the RBAK room, and it's a really good room. As well as that one, you can go upstairs as well. Inside all these other rooms along the side, there are plenty. Search all along the edges, and there are plenty of really good loot. I'm going to show you this one because it's nearly always got at least 1, sometimes up to 3 or 4. It's only got caps today, but usually along these shelves you'll find plenty. But for this building, it's one of the most highly profitable. Pretty sure this is RBAM, if I'm not mistaken. This room is gold. This is probably the best room in the map at the moment. You got that there. The what do you call these again? Radio signal transmitters. All right, called signal transmitters. Intel docks. You know, like fire steels. This is a gold room. Gold room. So anyone's like, it's a new player's guide, shouldn't check it out. Well, there you go. There's probably the biggest tip in the game. Those kids probably going to skyrocket now. Moving on. So that building is probably the best building in the game when it comes to loot. You've got really good bard items, military items, and there is a 1 med box, and you sometimes can find some loose spawns. This building is really good for meds. You got all the bottom floor, like in all these spots for meds. Coming upstairs, it's got 2 med rooms, one being on this one here, which is, I think it's, I'll put it up top so you got slowing down the video. Meds inside here, and then meds down the other side too. Really good room. If you do a lot of like more 0 to hero kind of runs, it's good to go for that. I don't want to get dwelled too much because I want you guys to learn the map. This is pretty much the center of the map. So from this room building, you are pretty much in the center of the map. If you spawn at the back down there and come up to this one, you're in the center. Across the other side, this is called Queen. Now this is the gold mine of loot for pistol runners as well. On pretty much every floor, there's There's heaps of fucking stuff to loot. Just be careful inside the floor and stuff like here and down here. You can actually find loot in that. There's loot all through this map. When it comes to this building, it's got a few med spawns in the middle, and it's really good for like, all your electronics and stuff like that. Really good just overall for looting. You will see a majority of your players going from that building to this building and then out. So I'm going to move over to the next extract, which is the more commonly used one for budget runners and pistol runners and that. It is the sewer extract. Now with the sewer extract, there is a requirement that you can't wear a backpack to get out of it. Now, my first loot run video is using this one, and I suggest people to use it because it's easy. If you stand on there with a backpack on, it doesn't work, chuck the backpack and you'll start extracting it. It's really that simple. There's people who've been saying you can pick up your backpack at 0.5 of a second. I've been trying to do all that stuff. It does not work to my understanding, but you know, you never know. Now these night buildings, night black and night white, there is a shit ton of filing cabinets, jackets, and filing cabinets, jackets, toolkits, and just some really good like loose spawns. Plenty of ammunition and stuff like that too. It's not something I would say that is what's the word? It's not something I would say that it's like you must loot this building every time. But if you want to avoid conflict, this building that I'm in right now, the black one, it gets a fair bit of action early, and then it dies off very quickly. So sometimes people will skip it and won't go to it, and you'll have the whole building to yourself. There's so many jackets in that filing cabinets for leveling up your search, attention, charisma, and all that stuff. Really good building for it. The issue with these two buildings is the Scab Boss can also spawn pretty much right here, in this section right here, and in that building. And if that's the case, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're going to be in a lot of trouble because they are crazy. This Scab Boss on this map, unless you've got like plenty of ammo, you're in a lot of trouble. Now with the over on this side, same on this side, pretty much the exact same kind of loot, and it goes all the way down. There's a room down there called RBST, right near to that building. It's a pretty good room for weapon crates and that. However, it just doesn't have the bang for buck that you'd like. There are these 30mm shells that are required for a quest. There's about 5 spawns in there for the shells. That's why it's pretty good for that. Outside here, you've got these bunkers. Inside the bunkers, there's some barter items and that, but nothing too crazy. When you are over here and you are going around this section, this is pretty crazy with the amount of scabs that spawn around here. As soon as the hermetic door button's been pressed, you are going to have raiders spawn here too. And it can be quite crazy. Like this is usually where I die in this map, to NPCs in this whole area here. They can be anywhere from up the top, inside that area, down the basement, which I'm about to get to, and yeah, they're pretty much all over this shop. So, and the Scab Boss can spawn inside here with his 6 minions. So just be wary of that. Still keeping dome in perspective, like where you are from the dome. We're heading to the far corner now, and I don't really go down this way very often. There is one main reason why you'll see people down here, and the only reason I'll ever come down here is for the marked room. There's 2 marked rooms on this map. If you are new to Tarkov and you don't know what a marked room is, it's a room that requires a key, and it's got a specific epic loot spawn in it. You'll see the marked on the ground. This is actually a nice little key to get to go inside there. There's a couple of AK spawns in that, but this is what everyone's coming to. I'm fairly confident it's the VO key. Yep. Come in here. You'll have your like SA58 spawns, and there'll be other stuff around here. Gold chains and that. Really good room. But the problem is, and I really want this to change. I actually got a clip of it the other day. Is you will spawn pretty much in that back corner right there. There's a spawn literally just over there, and there's a spawn like just over on the outside of that hill. If you spawn in this corner here, you could go straight for. Oh, sorry, it's not even in the corner. You spawn like here. If you spawn here and you charge straight to the marked room, you're pretty much going to get flanked on each side. The cool thing about these towers is you get pretty good at obs in every direction. If you come up here, you can actually quite quickly snipe these people before going to the marked room, and it's not a bad little play. Inside this building here, you can come up the staircase onto this little balcony. You can actually come up this ramp, go right along here, and get good obs down here. There's a thing to loot there. But go inside that window, hug the wall, and there's a little path that goes across. And you can actually go on the outside of the other side of that building. And there's a 50 cal gun up there and stuff like that. Due to like another position to get shots off. A lot of people don't know about that one. I'll give that one for free. And we'll move on to the next location, being the basement. Now, like I said, I don't come over this way at all, purely for the fact that it's just that one room is the main focus, and it's always looted at the start. Pretty much always. If you do spawn there, like I said, be careful. It's going to be pretty hectic straight from the start. Now, with the bunker system, it's popular, but it's not super popular. The reason why it's probably so popular is because of the amount of there's 3 classes of loot down there. There's technical loot, ration loot, and medical loot from these weapon crates, and I'm going to show you them in a second. Some of the keys are really cheap because there's more technical loot and ration loot, but not as much medical loot. Now, people want the medical loot because I've heard, and I can't confirm because I haven't found it myself, that lead X's spawn in them. So there's the rooms right here. You open them up. I'll put my light on so you guys can see better. You open them up, and these boxes right here. You open up the box, ration supply crate, right? So these ones will have food and cigarettes, and you can actually make pretty good money from this stuff. Medical supply crate here. You open it up. I bet you'll do something like a lead X or something just to. But yeah, you can find your meds here. So these ones are pretty popular for that reason. You can come down here. Scabs are down here pretty regularly, and if the button is pressed and no one's down here when it's pressed, you're going to have a pretty good chance of raiders being down here when you come down here. So just be very careful of that. Finally, and last thing to take note of from down here is the Scab Boss is down here too. So if there's no Scab Boss, no raiders, no scavs, and you're pretty undergeared, you've got a pretty good looting spot. Just be careful of that. Now there's a doorway just over here. Sorry, I missed it. It's just over there through that gap. That goes up to one side, and then there's another doorway down here. And you also can go out and right over there. You go up. So you've got a few options to go up and down from this spot, and it's a good way to escape from if you're getting contacted. Say, I don't know, anywhere. You can go down there and come up somewhere else, and it'll make it a lot harder for people to really see where you are. So now there is an extract over in that corner right beside that building. It is the Scavlands extract. To be able to extract from that one, there is a requirement. You need to go there with a scav. Now, if you were scavving into a reserve run and you're trying to make friends with PMCs, you're doing an awesome job for yourself if you can make a friend. Now, the only time I've ever been able to do that is when I've had viewers deliberately come in and I've said, hey, let's try out the Scavlands extract, and we've done it. The cool thing about doing a Scavlands extract is Fen sends you a message after doing it, and you get free loot. I've seen people get dox cases, but that's about the best loot I've seen. But it's really hard to get it. Now, to move on to the next point, I'm going to press the hermetic door switch. The only extract I haven't showed yet is the train extract, and the train will rock up pretty much when there's about 10 minutes left. It will change when the raid time has changed again. But when there's about 10 minutes left, and it extracts when there's between like 1 and 4 minutes left. So as soon as you hear that alarm, you know that button's been pressed and someone's in there. So always use that as a note, and be sure to move quickly if you do press it to get out of the area. You can go whatever way you want out. I usually just try to go the fastest path because that way, less chance of someone camping the extract on you. And it goes for about, I'm going to say 5 minutes. That'd probably be about right, 5 minutes. I've never actually timed it. But it's definitely something you should take note of when the alarm's going off. There is no way to turn off the alarm while it's going, and you can only extract while the alarm's still going. So the train that comes for the extract, it spawns on the, it comes in, like you actually see it drive in on the far other end. When it's coming in, you'll hear it toot its horn. When it's going to leave, it does, I think, one toot, and then 2 toots when it's actually leaving a minute later. So you get the toot that's about to leave, and then 2 toots that's leaving, or 2 toots that's about to leave and 1 toot that's leaving. It's one or the other. I can't remember exactly. So from here, you go straight through, using the reference point of the dome. You can come straight back into these bunkers sections. You don't have to go down. You can run around the back here. I think there's like a spot up here that you could get paracord. I think paracord spawns on the back of that, if I remember right. And while the green light's lit, you can extract. If you are coming through this way, there is a pretty high risk. If you press the button and you go to here, and it's still early on, there is a pretty high risk that someone from over this side of the map will camp the door. So just be very careful of that. Now the train, when it does rock up, and sorry, that's the other spot down to the basement. Now the train, when it does rock up, this is where it pretty much is. You walk into the train. You don't have to go in there until the last, toot of the horn. But you got to be very careful of that, because if you go in there too early, it'll be up. Players might kill you on the way in, or might come in later and then kill you. If you go in there too late, you might miss it. And finally, there's the scabs and raiders in this area will be rocked off by then, and you'll be in a bit of trouble anyway, because you've got to fight through them to get there. It's actually a really cool map, and I hope you guys like it, because it's growing on me. It's not my favorite map. I really love PvP on Factory. I think it's just fun action. But it is definitely one of the best maps in the game. It is laggy at the moment, but hopefully they improve it. And yeah, hopefully you guys got something good out of me just doing this run through for newer players. So guys, thanks for watching another video. Hopefully you guys learnt something from this new player's guide. I am going to be making those other videos I spoke about earlier, a full in-depth map guide of Reserve, because there is that much information, so many good loot spawns. And also I'll be making new loot guides updated from my previous one, better ones really, so you guys can actually make some bank doing that. If you like this video, guys, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for future content. I do stream on Twitch every day of the week, so go down the link below, give me a follow there. You got any Tarkov questions, feel free to hit me up on my live stream or down in the comments below. And lastly, I'll see you next time. Open up your raids and see what happens when you go in with the Mosin and ammo. You'll probably come out with an AVS rig with a fast MT.